And never buy a player who thinks he's doing you a favour. Who said that? Aside from me, who said that?
Was it George Graham?
It was George Graham. It absolutely was George Graham. I think there's a similar mantra in the All Blacks rugby union team or something like that. I can't remember what it is. Somebody will post it in the comments. I'm quite sure, but it's that sort of thing. And the reason I talk about this, which you already would have seen from the thumbnail, is that Harry Maguire is insulted. Is insulted by the fact that West Ham have not bid more than £20 million from him. Now, I've got my own opinions on Harry Maguire. I'd be interested. The old man's here who's going to offer his sage words of wisdom. Well, do you know what? Actually, I'm insulted, quite frankly. I'm insulted by the way Harry Maguire has this overinflated sense of self-worth, how somehow he's too big for West Ham United. Look, it's one thing demanding parity with your wages. So if Harry Maguire's on £170,000 a week and he won't move for less than £170,000 a week, then that's something else. I understand it. I don't think we should pay it, but I sort of understand it from his perspective. It is. I do have a different point of view in as much as I think if he wants to play football, he's going to have to move. You can't have it both ways. You can't sit there, complain about Ten Hag, complain about things about Man United, and complain that he's not playing first team football, and then think, well, hold on a second, not only do I demand to leave, I demand to leave for a transfer fee which is worthy of my standing in the game, and I demand to go to a club of equal parity to Manchester United, and I want to get in the first team. Now, it's almost like he's saying, I'm at Manchester United, I deserve to go to Real Madrid, and I deserve to be in their first team, and I deserve these wages. There's a lot of entitlement going on. Before I get your opinion, mate, let me just take you to the most recent article, because I don't know if you'll necessarily be aware of it. Now, this is I'm actually reading these are not direct quotes, but the source is very, very good by somebody that writes for the Manchester Evening News. So it's pretty good stuff here. So Harry Maguire's said to feel insulted by West Ham United's low £20 million offer. It remains to be seen whether Manchester United will offer, whether West Ham United will offer the £200,000 per week. The Old Trafford star thinks he should earn. He's no longer wanted by Eric Ten Hag. He's 30 years of age. Manchester United are holding out for £35 million. Anyway, let me just tell you the quotes here. It says, it's not just Manchester United who think West Ham's current offer is a lowball one. Harry himself sees other players moving for bigger sums without half of his experience and prestige. How would you be so crass as to use the word prestige? He knows United wants him out and may be bluffing over his price, but even Harry thinks he's worth more than 20 million. Anyway, he said, especially to somebody like David Moyes, who needs a centre-half in quickly, and he knows he's road-tested in the Premier League. Maguire would earn almost £20 million in wages if he were to join West Ham. And whatever, right? Clearly what's going on here is Harry Maguire feels entitled, and he's saying, look, you need me. This is it. You need me, and particularly you, David Moyes, because you need centre-halves. Oh, my word. Honestly, what's your take on all that?
Well, I don't think we need centre halves. We do need certain things, and one of the things we need is somebody. We need more leadership in the team, in my opinion. I think Rice carried the team last year, and I think he was responsible for a lot of the behaviour changes towards the end of the season. I'm getting the impression that people want sort of Moyes to go, but we'll talk about that maybe another time. But Maguire is a natural leader. He's effective in both boxes. Everybody knows he's slow, but he's very good on the ball and passes well. And typically, he's not too bad under pressure. So, yes, he's good from that point of view. But, I mean, there are contradictions all over this because he's talking. I've read other quotes saying that West Ham aren't a big enough club, and yet he's entertaining approaches from Everton. Now, Everton are a big club traditionally,
Yeah.
but they've been in the toilet for God knows how long. And at the moment, they are not a big club. They're a big club historically and nothing else. And they're a big club in the amount of money they're wasting. And we're in danger of following them. I'm sort of in two minds. I'd love to see Maguire's leadership, but it's not the area we should be concentrating on, in my opinion. We've got Zuma, we've got Agard. Ogbonna's a good fill in for either of those two, and we've got some good young players coming through at
And
centre
Kera.
half as well. Yeah, and Kera. So I'm not. I can't see why we're pursuing this when what we desperately need is a striker. Mind
Yeah,
you,
well,
knowing Moyes might turn him into a striker.
absolutely. More likely to turn a striker into a defender, to be fair. I think with this one, it is a weird one because we don't know, and a lot of this is just rumour. Those are not direct quotes from the player, but it's a good source, and I think it's a good source. It's not a regular West Ham source.
Yeah.
So it's one thing when we're saying Harry Maguire doesn't want to come, and we've been hearing that quite a lot. It's another thing entirely when the Manchester press are saying it. I think the player's not going to come out and give a press conference because they don't. The player's not going to come out and say I don't want to go to West Ham. But one thing he did do is he made this big statement. I don't know if you heard it, basically praising Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and it was all poor me, poor me. I should be in the team. I deserve better. And I don't know, I think it sounds a little bit sickly. And as I say, just go back to what
Well,
I said at the start of it. Don't sign a player who thinks he's doing you a favour. And
there's
he,
too
but
much stroking of his ego,
yeah,
and one of the people to blame for this is Gareth Southgate, because Gareth Southgate keeps saying I only pick players on form, but then he picks a player who never gets picked. Um, you know, to be fair, Maguire works in the England setup. Him and Stones have got a very good partnership, and it works very well when you've got Clive.
Clive.
Where did I get
I
Clive
want to know who
from?
Clive is. This is good. Who's Clive? Where's he
who's the
play? Tell us.
who's
Tell
the
us where
who's the
Clive
Man
plays.
who's the Man City fullback?
Oh, I know. I want you to find out.
Oh, sod it,
Ah,
I can't remember. But
Clive.
anyway,
And it's
while
not.
you
You don't mean it's Murray Walker.
Kyle, Kyle,
Oh, Clive Walker. Oh, Clive Walker. Clive Walker. Oh, I tell you what. His son Kyle's all right, though, isn't he?
yeah, absolutely,
How old's
yeah.
Clive then? Because I think Kyle's about nearly 40.
Yeah, well, whatever. Anyway, while he's got him
Mm.
mopping up for his lack of pace, and of course Stones is very pacey as
And you've
well.
got Nigel Shaw on at
Yeah,
left full
yeah,
back. Yep.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can afford to have one slow player when you've got three others who are, one who's absolutely lightning quick, the other two are reasonably tasty. But we haven't got that luxury. A Gerd is quick, but you wouldn't accuse Ogbonna or Zuma of being particularly quick. So I don't, whilst I'd like Maguire's goals and I'd like his leadership, providing uh, he, became part of the leadership team, it's not where we need tightening up or resourcing at the moment. Where we
No, no,
desperately
no. Absolutely. So obviously striker. Just to get your opinions, we've not had you on for a while. Very slack, may I say. We've not had you on for a while. So actually, you did make an impromptu appearance on our Patreon, our naked Patreon podcast. We're not actually naked, by the way. You actually phoned up, and I held up the loudspeaker, so our patrons know what you think. We'll deal with it. What we'll do is later on we'll pop another video up, get your overview of West Ham, and the general transfer window melee. If you want, we'll pop a video up on the main channel later on that and give your opinions on that. But just in terms of one of the other players that we're massively linked with, because I know you're down there on the south coast, you'd have seen a lot of this player. What about Derek Ward-Prowse?
Well, Derek Ward-Prowse has lots of good attributes. He's a good box-to-box player. Obviously, his free kicks are sensational. he plays every single game and he gives 100% effort every game. I mean, his running stats are sensational, and I think his actual attacking ability towards the end of last season, a couple of times he seemed to move more towards the number 10 role, and he showed remarkably good footwork in the penalty area to create space for himself on a couple of occasions where I didn't think he had that ability. So I'm not that much of a downer on Ward-Prowse, and the big difference between him and possibly Maguire, but Ward-Prowse definitely wants to come to West Ham.
Yeah.
I'm hearing he's desperate to come to West Ham.
Oh,
So from my point of view, he would be a good signing.
excellent, excellent. And how much would you pay for him?
I'd pay 35. Definitely.
Would you? Okay.
Yeah,
Probably 35 quid, knowing you.
that's rich coming from you.
I know, it's terrible, isn't it? Right, well, listen, thank you very much for you stay there because we're going to record another video now to pop up on the channel later on. Thank you, everybody else, for joining us. If you'd like to hear more common sense and basically more people being called the incorrect names, then tune in on the main channel later on.